episode 13. Trev's Review Show here on Trev TV. I'm the Trev. You know that. If you're tuning in, if you're watching, that's too sweet. I think it's the first time I've ever gotten that on the first shot. Anyway, we're starting the Transformers Season 1 review. Hopefully, I didn't spoil too much in the intro video for More Than Meets the Eye Part 1, which is the first episode. Now, I'll say this right off the bat. I'm not taking into consideration animation errors when I grade the episodes, because they are frequent. There's a lot of them, actually. Not as bad as in, say, Season 3, which is full of animation errors, scale errors, and everything alike, even continuity for that matter. But that's another problem that we will discuss later. Having said all that, I forgot to mention, there are humans involved in these episodes as well. Yeah, I know, boo, but hey, these were written when I was only 5. 4 at best. So, having said all that, let's start the review. I don't know how well you can hear the theme song. If you can, that's great. The theme song is iconic in every sense of the word. I know you can hear the synthesized voice. At least I hope you can. But basically, there's really no thrills, nothing new as far as the intro goes. It's just, hey, here's our characters. It's what you came to see. We start off with a nice deep shot of deep space. Many millions of years ago, on the planet Cybertron, life existed, but not life as we know it today. Intelligent robots who could think and could feel inhabited the planet. They were called Autobots and Decepticons. I don't do that nearly as well as Vince DiCola, who is, I don't even know if it is Vince DiCola. I can't do it nearly half as well as the narrator does. Anyway, it gives us a nice little shot of how Cybertron has become basically a war zone. Before you even see a full-out shot of the planet, which you don't, not until at least the end. You know, it looked like it used to be a beautiful planet. But anyway, we see Wheeljack Bumblebee looking for energy conductors because energon is so low on the planet. And they have to basically go incognito underneath cities to find energy conductors or other sources of energon. And we see some Cybertronian modes, which we won't see later, not for some time. So Bumblebee and Wheeljack are making their way to Iacon, which is Autobot headquarters, when they encounter a group of Decepticon Seekers. If you don't know what the Seekers are, look at Starscream, look at Thundercracker, look at Skywarp, and all the other different colored Seekers throughout the series. And there are a whole bunch of different colored Seekers. They engage in a laser fight. Prime told me there'd be days like this. And you didn't believe him? Well, I do now. Some lasers, and then Purple Seeker. I'm sure he has a name. I'll look into it later. Busts out the flamethrower, and they figure, well, the best way to get out of a flamethrower is to fight with fans. They make their way out of the circle of fire, knock over the Seekers, which is Thundercracker, Skywarp, and Starscream at this point. Thundercracker, Skywarp give chase. Out come more laser fights. In the ensuing laser fight, Bumblebee takes a shot, and a little wheel, I guess, underneath his chassis, which you can call a space wheel, I guess, gives out. He has to go back into Wheeljack's caboose to make a quick escape. Bumblebee, Wheeljack obviously make their escape. Skywarp, Thundercracker decide, hey, better report back to Megatron. And out comes the bumper. Bumblebee, Wheeljack make their way back to Iacon. Unbeknownst to them, Soundwave, disguised as a lamppost, is there with his... They're not even tapes at this point, so I guess you call them data collectors. Out comes Laserbeak. And they're out to get some intel as to what the Autobots are doing next. Jazz makes his way to Iacon, reports to Optimus Prime, who's flanked by Trailbreaker and Prowl, say, no, I can't find no energy. It's dry out there. So which the decision comes, it's like, unless we find a new source of energy, no one's winning this war. Prowl asks, when do we start the search mission? Prime says, as soon as we're ready to launch. And Laserbeak, still spying, has all the intel he needs, flies back to Soundwave, and they go back to Decepticon headquarters. We see the introduction of Megatron. He's saying, we gotta find the energy before the Autobots do. Soundwave reports in, saying the Autobots are ready to go, to which Megatron alerts Shockwave that, hey, you're staying behind on Soundwave, or you're staying behind on Soundwave. You're staying behind on Cybertron. Keep the planet as I leave it. After that, we get a nice little bit of banter between Megatron and Starscream, and I've never liked Starscream. Not even when I was a kid watching this, I've never liked Starscream. Starscream's like, hey, the Autobots would have lost a long time ago if I'd have been calling the shots. Megatron tells him, hey, only a select few ever lead. My time will come, Megatron. Never. Never. And they're getting ready to launch. The Autobots are on board the Ark, which is their name for their spaceship. And they're ready to go, so they fire off the cylinders, and they head into space. And there you see the Decepticons' space cruiser, called the Nemesis. And they're ready to go, so they boost their igniters, and they're off too. Not long after leaving, the Ark encounters a meteor shower, which tosses everybody around a bit, get their bell rung a bit. The Decepticons are flanked by this meteor shower as well, so they do what they can to just stay afloat. Autobots get the awesome idea to fire the laser, which basically will clear the path of all the asteroids that are in their way. The Decepticons come up, right in behind them, and that's where they become known on the Autobots' radar. Autobots realize they're being followed, the Decepticons realize they've been detected, but the Decepticons are flanking their every move, following them left, right, loops. Like, Starscream comes up with the idea, hey, let's just blow them away. Megatron's like, no, let's line up beside him, line up the tractor beam, and board their shuttle. The Autobots obviously can't shake the Decepticons' Nemesis, and the boarding chute comes out from the Nemesis to the Ark so that the Decepticons can board the ship. And here we get our first full-scale faction fight. Everybody's jumping on Soundwave, and he's kicking everybody's ass. Everybody's getting tossed around. Megatron and Prime are fighting. The G-forces, however, are dragging the ships down. There's too much weight between the two ships and gravity. So the ships go out of control. The Ark goes down, the Nemesis breaks away. The G-forces end up lining the Ark into a volcano on the planet Earth. The Nemesis, obviously we're led to believe, just dumped into the sea. And we'll see that a lot later in Season 1. Now some time has elapsed here, and it says 4 million years later when a volcano goes active, and that obviously shakes up the Ark's computer systems. So right at this point, everything's coming back online. They've been in stasis lock, in pieces, for 4 million years. Out comes the Sky Satellite, or the Sky Spy, whatever you want to call it, doing recons, like, hey, I gotta get these things back together now. So he starts with building the Decepticons first, which I guess is a smart move. Get the enemy out first. Get them all fixed up. Skywarp's the first one to get fixed. And he gets turned from a Cybertronian Seeker to an F-15 Tomcat. I think that's what the planes are called. After he's revived, he brings Megatron. Megatron gets revived. And they get to the notion that, hey, we gotta fix everybody else too. So we must revive the others. So they get revived, they get reformat, new forms, and they leave the Ark. Megatron realizes they're on a different planet now, but the mission hasn't changed. They still got to find new sources of energy. So after that, they figure, hey, let's start looking. Starscream gives a little parting shot towards the Ark, which creates a landslide, which knocks over the Autobots, or at least knocks over Optimus Prime. And the Sky Spy decides it's got time to start reviving the heroes now. So Optimus gets the new form, and we go to a bumper. The Decepticons find themselves somewhere on Earth, and they need to convert the area for materials to build a new space cruiser, start getting themselves set up for collecting energon, which is a fancy term for energy. So they find a nearby electric power plant, I guess you can call it. And they fly off towards it. We get another bumper. And the Autobots are all fully revived now. They're all up and at 'em. Optimus Prime sends Hound to go scout the area, see if you can't locate the Decepticons, see what they're up to. Cliffjumper decides, hey, I'm coming with too. So they both go out scouting the area for Decepticons. We go back to Starscream, Soundwave, and Rumble. Starscream's still iterating, hey, someday I'll be leading the Decepticons, and you'll do what I say. Which, of course, he's just talking smack like he always does. Rumble informs Starscream, yeah, good luck. Megatron has no known weaknesses, so if you're going to beat him by the element of surprise, you're going to have to find some neat little way to do it. And then decides to pull out his pillars, take down this energy, this electric station that they found. Back on the scouting mission, Hound and Cliffjumper, they're marveling at the planet. It's like a beautiful place, and Cliffjumper's telling them, hey, we're not staying long, so don't fall in love with it. By this time, they found the Decepticons, who are well on the way to building their new space cruiser. They've got enough materials, and it's actually taken a nice shape. Of course, they have obviously no idea what they're talking about. If they're talking about anything, Hound pumps out his little wrist radar, and where the plan becomes known that Megatron intends to steal Earth's energy. Soundwave informs you can concentrate the energy into energon cubes and store them in the new space cruiser. Cliffjumper decides he wants to be a hero, pulls out his big viewfinder cannon, and lays out a shot that misses completely. Decepticons are obviously surprised by this. They're having the foggiest. Who's firing on him? Starscream suggests the Autobots, to which Megatron says that's impossible. Well, who else could it be? So Soundwave dispatches Laserbeak, and Hound and Cliffjumper are on the run. Apparently that's their first time seeing Laserbeak, or at least Laserbeak in a new form. They decide, hey, well, we better split up, because he can't follow the both of us. Well, that's not entirely true, because Laserbeak fires off one of his own little laser cannons to chase Cliffjumper, while Laserbeak himself chases Hound. Cliffjumper takes out the laser cannon, really simply, might I add. But Hound manages to get taken out by Laserbeak. So he's down in a chasm. Just done. Commercial bumper, Cliffjumper finds Ratchet and Holler, who is a character you don't see past this point. I think is a one-time shot. I know in the toy community he was actually given a form, but this is the only time you'll ever see or hear the name Holler in Generation 1. Cliffjumper tells Hound, hey, sorry, my fault, I shouldn't have never fired on him. Hound says, oh, well, you shouldn't have missed. Yeah, hey, haul him up. Flash over to a new scene where Thundercracker and the components that make up Reflector are talking about how, hey, can't believe the Autobots survived too. Where they spot a trail of dust just kind of driving along. Well, what is that? Well, let's find out. Reflector transforms into a camera, where Thundercracker just kind of zooms in, takes the picture, and sees a Earth truck. Thundercracker reports this to Soundwave, where he thinks it could be a possible Autobot, to which Soundwave dispatches Ravage. That Earth vehicle has actually humans in it, where they're just surveying the damage left over by Rumble, Starscream, and Soundwave from that electric plant. Ravage sees them and pounces on the humans. Obviously, they're not going to stick around, so the instant they're able to get back up, they hop right back in their vehicle and drive away. Flashback to the Ark, which is now Autobot headquarters. Hound is getting himself fixed up and reveals Megatron's plan of collecting energy and putting it in some kind of cube, energon cubes. And Optimus decides, hey, we better find out exactly what they're up to. So everybody, basically, is told to transform and move out. We bumper back over to the Decepticons. Laserbeak has been doing recon around the planet. He comes back. He returns and he reports that he's found a source of energy, to which Megatron is quite ecstatic. That source of energy is a sea oil rig, where you find more humans. We also meet Spike and Sparkplug, the father-son combo that is pretty much predominant throughout this whole series. Decepticons see this source of energy. and they dive in. They're going to take it over, take all the energy they can. Humans are not sure what exactly those things are, so they're tossing anything they can, crowbars and sprockets and all that stuff, towards Megatron. Megatron sees this great big piece of metal pipe, picks it up, drops it, and the humans go into the ocean. Rumble decides he's going to have a nice little duke it out with Sparkplug before Spike thinks he's smart and tries to throw a shot onto Rumble's back. Now, human fist on metal back. Not work well. They both go into the water. Starscream null rays the turbine, which keeps everything flowing, to stop it so that they can start collecting the energy in energon cubes produced by Soundwave. And they actually do work. They fill up nicely, full of oil. After filling up a few of them, they compress them, put them into one solid stack, and Starscream and all his stupidity figures out, oh, that's it, we're done now, we've got the energy, we can go back to Cybertron. Megatron informs him, you're an idiot, we need a lot more, this is just the beginning. Having said all that, the Autobots, who apparently can fly, decide to join the party. The Autobots land, because they can fly. The party's on. Party's on. You get Megatron and Optimus fighting again. It's just all out laser wars, punch-ins, all that fun stuff. And they're actually fighting with pipes, if you can believe that. And they're still fighting, and Laserbeak decides to distract Optimus Prime, which gives Megatron and the other Decepticons enough time to actually fly up and retreat the fight. But before they go, Megatron takes out the pillars holding up the C-Rig, which knocks all the Autobots into the water, and then decides to blast one of the pillars, which sets fire to the C-Rig, endangering not just the Autobots, but the humans involved. So now the Autobots are now playing rescuers. Of course, Spike, Sparkplug are trapped. They're the first two that Prime's going after. Now Prime's having a little trouble lifting the chassis, because it's too heavy for him. And after that, that's the end of episode 1, leaving on a nice little cliffhanger. So my overall thoughts to More Than Meets the Eye Part 1. The biggest thing that I can't stand, that becomes a problem later as far as continuity, is the Autobots being able to fly. This is the only real few episodes where they do fly. I mean, granted, the Dinobots are given, the ability to fly, but all the other Autobots beforehand, they couldn't. There was a few animation errors in there, which I didn't point out, more so because if I did point them out, I'd be sitting here critiquing everything about it, and yada yada yada. But on a not Dave Meltzer out of 5 scale, I'll give this episode a 3. There's a nice way to start it out. It's a nice way to keep the story going. The cliffhanger was nice. And yeah, part 2 will be next. That was episode 13, Trev's Review Show. I want to thank you for tuning in. Your viewership always means so much to me. Always has, always will. And as I've said time and time again, I mean it every time I say it, your viewership means that much that I appreciate you that much. For taking the time out of your day to listen to me watch TV and talk about it. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, hit the thumbs up. If you want to, there's that little red button somewhere over there. You know what to do. And I'll keep you up to date with all the content that I put out. If you really, really want, you can find Trev TV on Facebook at Trev's TV. Or if you want to be a super fan, you can find Trev TV on Instagram at rockstartrev TV. So moving forward, I have another Spartacus episode to review this weekend. I am doing it. I have NXT TakeOver 25 reaction video coming. Like I said, I don't know whether that's tonight or tomorrow morning. Either way, I'm going to be watching it tonight. So expect that video. And then, yeah, whatever else pops up that's worth me talking about or critiquing or whatever will come up, and I will make a video about it. But having said all that, in the meantime, and in between time, be on the lookout for more videos from Trev.